Is breath boring? No way. Breathing is fascinating, life-supporting, and maybe even a little fun. Just 5 minutes a day of conscious breathing can boost your mood, focus, sleep, and even help you age healthier. So take a deep breath and let's get started. Welcome to the Youthful Older Yogi podcast. I'm MJ Waddell, your yogi host and founder of Share Yoga. I've been practicing, teaching, and loving yoga for over 25 years. I'm an advocate of movement, creativity, and staying healthy in mind and body in the prime time of your life. It's never too late to start, and there's a lot of healthy years ahead. So let's start now.
Hi, everybody, and thank you so much for tuning in to the Youthful Older Yogi. I'm MJ Waddell, the creator and founder of Share Yoga, and your host for this podcast. So today I've entitled this episode, Is Breath Boring? However you answer that question, I really want to turn your attention to a more affirmative response to that. It is not boring at all. So trust me, it can be very entertaining. It's powerful. And when you let it be really powerful. So let's uncover how to pay attention to this invisible superpower that you already have within yourself. And it also helps us to age happier and healthier. Okay, so I'm going to start with some fun facts. If I'm looking off to my right, I've taken some notes and I want to stay on track and on time. So some fun little trivia breath facts. Your lungs are the only organs in your body that float in water. So we have about 300 million tiny air sacs called alveoli. Choose how you pronounce it. I'm not quite sure of the pronunciation. I think it's alveoli, but I could be wrong. So the next time you're in a pool or in a lake or in some body of water, see if you can take some deep breaths and allow your lungs to fill up all those 3 million sacs and see if indeed you do float a little easier. That would be a fun little experiment. You take about 20,000 breaths a day without even thinking about it, which is miraculous and amazing in itself. But you can consciously change every single breath of those 200,000 that you take. So you can have control. If you're a control freak, this is a great episode for you. You exhale about 4 to 5% carbon dioxide, plus there's some gases that come out and some water vapor, and also like tiny clues to your health. So breath might be automatic, but it's really far from boring. So I want to tell you a little story about when I was having my surgery for my hips. When I came out of surgery, next to my bedside was this device called a spirometer. Some of you might know what that is. It's like it's a device you breathe into. It's like a little canister, and it's got a little place where you put your mouth, and there's a ball that goes up and down. You're supposed to try to get it to a certain point and hold it there. Anyway, I thought that was for trying to get the anesthesia or the narcotics, flushed out of your system, but that's not what it's really for. So this little spirometer, it's really to wake your lungs back up. So after surgery, we tend to take shallower breaths, and some of the little air sacs in our lungs, they just collapse a little bit during surgery. So, and that shallow breathing can lead to mucus buildup, and it hangs around. And also it can invite pneumonia to the party. So this is why the spirometer is so important, not just after surgery, but we can reference a spirometer later in this podcast. So it's like a little workout coach for your lungs, and it helps reopen your air sacs, and it just invites your lungs to keep stronger and keep doing their job as you heal. So I did use the spirometer, and I did notice that it was really hard to take a deep breath. Actually, for a few weeks after, maybe about a month, I would tell people, gosh, it seems really hard to take a deep breath in. And I think it's just I know it was from the surgery and and everything that entailed.
I wanted to pop in and thank you for listening to the Youthful Older Yogi. I love bringing you great guests, education, and ways to stay youthful in mind and body. If you love the show and want to help me make it even better, please consider becoming a supporter. You get to choose how much and how often you give, and there's no commitment. And remember, I donate a portion of every dollar I receive to charity. For 2025, I've chosen United Nations World Food Program. Just click the support button in the show notes. And just as helpful is sharing the show with others. Thank you again so much for listening. And now let's get back to the podcast.
Conscious breathing. Okay, that's when we're just paying attention to our breathing. And so what's the science behind it? Because there is science and there's lots of data. And I will add some of the links in the show notes. There's so much data on this. Okay, so conscious breathing, it's a stress dissolving superpower is really what it is. So your deep, slow breathing is just a message to your nervous system saying, just please relax, chill out. It just calms the stress response. It slows your heart rate and it gives you a little upgrade and a mood boost. Okay. It's like I said, instant stress and creates a better mood. So a simple daily practice. It doesn't have to be more than 5 minutes, especially exhaled focused breathing. They call it cyclical breath or cyclical sighing. You know, when you take a deep breath out and you sigh, maybe it's after a long day at work or too much time with your kids or someone that stresses you out, whatever stresses you out. So this works faster at improving your mood and reducing your respiratory rate that might have been amped up. This is scientific fact. So this deep sighing, cyclical sighing, they call it, it's an instant stress reliever. Okay. It also, intentional breathing, it slows and calms your body by just inviting the rest and digest. So we have a couple different things with our nervous system. There's parasympathetic and there's sympathetic. The sympathetic nervous system is the fight, flight, or freeze. That's when we're all amped up. That's when all the blood flows to the organs that need to survive. And then the parasympathetic nervous system is your rest and digest. So that deep sighing invites that rest and digest part of your nervous system. And it's just so beneficial. Let's see what else. It helps lower blood pressure. It slows your heart rate. It promotes better muscle function, and more oxygen is better lungs, more oxygen. Breathwork helps your lungs dispense stale air and fill up with fresh oxygen and just work more efficiently. So that's what that little spirometer thing was for, just to get my lungs to work more efficiently after the surgery. Also, conscious moving, it improves your focus and your concentration and sleep. All this stuff, science, data, like I said, look in the show links. And it helps reduce anxiety. So many of us have labeled ourselves as anxious or we have anxiety. I've kind of switched around and I don't label myself as anxious. I know situations that make me feel anxious, but now I have the tools to help me feel less anxious and more in control. And breathing is one of them. Even before I do these podcasts, I take a few deep breaths, get ready. Who knows what's going to come out of my mouth? Who knows? I just take a few deep breaths and dive in. Let's see if that's not enough. And this is all of this historical, or this data is like historically driven, like powers from all the ancient practices, yoga, tai chi, meditation conditions. These are all confirmed by research for mood elevation and health. There was a great study that I looked at, which kind of surprised me. So this was a comparison between mindfulness meditation and conscious breathing. Okay, they did a study, they did 2 groups. And guess what? The study proved that just 5 minutes a day of conscious breath work improved the mood, focus, decision making, sleep, and lowered anxiety. So it beat the mindfulness meditation in certain areas, especially in reducing psychological arousal. So, and the clear winner, they did 3 different types of breath. One was the cyclical sighing. One was box breath. And box breath is where you inhale the same count, you hold for the same count, exhale for the same count, hold for the same count. And then they did a longer count of an inhale and a shorter count of an exhale. So those were the 3 types of breaths that they did in the study. And the clear winner was the cyclical sighing. So where the exhale is twice as long as the inhale. And this technique was just proved to be the best at improving your mood and lowering your respiratory rate. Check in the show notes. So if you're a yoga practitioner or a teacher, you may already be teaching these practices. Sama vritti, which is equal breath. That's you inhale and exhale for the same count. I usually offer this in the beginning of every yoga class. Just sit and breathe, count your inhale, your count, not my count, an even inhale and even exhale. Box breathing, I could, introduce that in a practice. If I just wanted them to, focus on just breath, just breathing and conscious breathing. So you just give them a type of breathing, and then the cyclical breath. So let's just try the cyclical breath now. So let's say you're going to inhale through your nose for, I don't know, whatever your count is. It could be 4, it could be 5, it could be beyond 5. And then you're going to hold for 3. Okay. And then you're going to exhale as long as you comfortably can, about twice as long as the inhale. So if your inhale is a 3 or a 4, you're going to exhale for 6 or a 7. Okay. Or an 8. If it's a 4, 8. If it's a 3, 6, you get it, right? You don't have to be so great at math. Just your exhale is longer than your inhale. Okay. So I'm going to do it first. If you're listening to this, please don't be driving while you do this. Please be just somewhere, where you have some privacy, or you can, ask people to join you. Most of you won't do this at all. If you're watching on YouTube, you can watch and maybe giggle, or maybe you can just try it. Okay. It's like an experiment. So I'm going to take a deep inhale through my nose. I'm going to hold it for 3 counts, and then I'm going to exhale for double the amount of my inhale. And I'm going to exhale through my lips that are pursed lips, like you're blowing out candles. Okay. So here I go. Okay, I just did it. My inhale was about a count of 3 to 4 because I've been talking and expelling so much. So if I were to continue this, I would notice that my inhale would get longer. It's always easier to exhale longer than the inhale. You'll find that out. So, give this a try. You can just do it. There's lots of times when you can do it. You can do it. If you're watching TV, do it during a commercial. You can do it while you're standing in line. You can do it before an important conversation. You can do it right before you walk in the door to your home, or you can do it right before you walk out of your door, going to your job or wherever you're going. Standing in line at the store. How about right before bed? Great time to do it right before bed or as you wake up. Okay, so there's lots of opportunities when you can do it and how you can do it. And again, for you yoga teachers out there, if you already teach this, great, continue to teach it. And if you're not sharing these techniques, why not start? Just that, what we just did now, breathing in for whatever their count is, holding for 3, exhaling through their mouth, through pursed lips for, double the inhale. They'll notice it. It's an easy thing to teach. Just help your students understand that it's just not about the mat. It's about better living, better health, and better aging. And better breathing, conscious breathing, really leads to this. Let's see, what else did I want to say? I think that's it. I just wanted to wrap up by sharing with you that breathing, it's the most portable, accessible, and free tool that we have for staying well. Whether you're recovering from surgery, preparing for a big day, maybe you're just wanting to sleep better, and 5 mindful minutes. It can be less than 5. 5 is good. 2 is a great place to start, but I think you can find 5 minutes. If you're doom scrolling, you can find 5 minutes. I know you can. But conscious breathing, again, it helps us to age healthier, feel better, calmer, live more fully. So is breath boring? No. It's your superpower of health. So that's it on my enthusiasm for the breath. And I hope it's maybe just sparked your curiosity to see, or experiment, or just have some playful curiosity with your own breathing. I hope so. I want to also say before I go, there are a few spots left in my retreat that I'm hosting with Terry Orr. She's a nutritionist and a medicinal health coach. She's amazing. We are going to Bald Head Island, North Carolina, September 9th through 13th. It's coming up very, very soon. There's a couple spots left. So please, 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 if you're a last minute person, go to my website, shareyogawithmj.com, shareyogawithmj.com to learn more about the retreat. And you can reach me anytime, anywhere. Just go to that website. There's an email there, and I'm happy to fill you in on anything you want to know about this lovely retreat. We're calling it Nurture and Nourish, and that's exactly what we're going to do. It's not overscheduled. You get to choose what you want to do, when you want to do it. Everything will be taken care of. Your meals, breakfast buffet, dinner, community dinner. We're going to teach you how to, eat with more consciousness and with health plant-based food. But if you want to go eat and have a burger out on the island, you can do that too. No judgment. For lunch, there'll be, you have access to the refrigerator, to the pantry, everything that will be there for you. We hope that you join us. We are so excited to lead this retreat. So again, shareyogawithmj.com. And until we meet again, thank you so much for listening or watching, and keep sharing yoga. Namaste.
Thank you so much for listening. Now you can go to my show notes on YouTube or Buzzsprout and send me a voicemail or email. I'd love to hear what topics you'd like me to speak about, what your thoughts are on the episodes, and maybe I'll share your message on a future episode. Please subscribe to my website, shareyogawithmj.com, so you can receive my newsletters and be first to know about my retreats, workshops, courses, and freebies. If you navigate on social media, you can find me mostly on Facebook and a bit on Instagram at Mary Jane Waddell. That's Jane with a Y, Jayne. This podcast would not be possible without the help of my editor, Dan Jones from Cocoa Beach Productions. You can find Dan at cocoabeachweb.com. And of course, thanks to my generous guests who share their time, insights, and youthful wisdom. Remember, the Youthful Older Yogi podcast is presented solely for educational, inspirational, and entertainment purposes. It is not intended as a substitute for a physician or other qualified professionals. Okay, yogis, stay well, stay youthful, and keep sharing yoga.